Hello everyone, good day. I am Sir Jason, your math teacher. Please listen attentively and do not forget to have fun while learning the new lesson. Before I will start my discussion, let us review first our previous lesson, which is angles of elevation and depression. Determine whether the given figure has an angle of elevation or angle of depression, and identify the segment that represents the horizontal line and the line of sight. Number 1. The angle shown is angle of elevation. Angle C is the angle of elevation. The horizontal line is line segment BC. Then our line of sight is line segment AC. Number 2. The angle is angle of depression. The horizontal line is line segment WX or XW. Then our line of sight is line segment XY or YX. Number 3. The angle A is angle of elevation. The horizontal line is line segment AO. And our line of sight is line segment AE. Number 4. Our last item. The angle shown in the figure is angle KNM, which is the angle of depression. The horizontal line is line NK. Then our line of sight is line segment NM. Did you get a perfect score? Very good. A job well done. Now, I will give you an activity for today's lesson. Consider the situation below. Draw a figure and answer the questions that follow. A boy who is on the third floor of their house watches his dog lying on the ground. The angle between his eye level and his line of sight is 22 degrees. First, let's draw. So we have here our drawing. The given is 22 degrees. Question number 1. Which angle is identified in the problem? Angle of elevation or angle of depression? Justify your answer. So we have the figure here. The angle is 22 degrees. This is the angle of depression. Why? Because it is the angle that is formed by a horizontal line and the line of sight below. Question number 2. If the boy is 8 meters above the ground, approximately how far is the dog from the house? So let's have the figure here. Then we have another given that is 8 meters above the ground. 8 meters. Then we are asked the distance between the dog and the house. So let's solve it. We have the equation tan 22 degrees is equal to 8 over x. Then we have to cancel out x of the right side of the equation. After considering out the x, We have x tan 22 degrees equals 8. Then divide both sides by tan 22 degrees. So we have to cancel tan 22 degrees on the left side of the equation. And the result is x is equal to 8 over tan 22 degrees. The answer is x equals 19.8. So approximately how far is the dog from the house? The dog is approximately 19.8 meters from the house. Now let's proceed to critical thinking. Question number 1. How did you know that the figure you made uses angle of depression, not angle of elevation? Based on the figure, it uses angle of depression since the line of sight is formed below the horizontal line. In other words, if you are looking at an object below, the angle formed is angle of depression. Question number 2. Do you think you can directly measure the distance of the dog from the house by using a ruler or a meter stick? Why? Yes, because it is only a short distance, but it requires time and accuracy. And not all the time that it is very applicable to use ruler or meter stick. For example, if the dog is on the other side of the street, you may cause accident because of your meter stick or you may get hurt by a speeding car. We have the last question here. Can we use a ruler or meter stick all the time in determining heights and distances? If not, how can we determine them? No, because it is very inconvenient, risky, and time-consuming, especially if we are asked to find the distance of far objects or height of tall objects. But we can determine the heights and distances by using trigonometric ratios. Since we are done with the activity, now let us proceed to our new topic. Our new topic is solving problems involving angles of elevation and depression. Our lesson objectives. At the end of the lesson, the students will be able to do the following with at least 90% proficiency. For the knowledge, identify trigonometric ratios that can be used in solving problems involving angles of elevation and depression. Skills. Illustrate angles of elevation and depression, and solve problems involving angles of elevation and depression. In attitude, you are need to display awareness and gratitude on the real-life applications of angles of elevation and depression. Now we have the concept here. The study of trigonometric ratios originated from geometric problems involving triangles. They are used in finding the lengths of the sides and measures of the angles of a triangle. Thus, these trigonometric ratios may be used to solve problems involving angles of elevation and angles of depression. Examples. A hiker is 400 meters away from the base of the radio tower. The angle of elevation to the top of the tower is 46 degrees. How high is the tower? Now we have the figure here. This is the illustration. Now we have the equation tan 46 degrees equals A over 400. Now let us multiply both sides by 400. So the 400 on the left side, on the right side of the equation will be cancelled out. So the result is 400 tan 46 degree equals A. Or in other words, A is equal to 400 tan 46 degrees. Now we have the value of A, which is 414.21. How high is the tower? The tower is 414 and 21 hundredths meters high. Did you get the answer in the first example? Now let's proceed to our second example. From the top of a 72-meter high vertical cliff, a boat has an angle of depression of 32 degrees. How far is the boat from the base of the cliff? Now we have the drawing here. We have the equation tan 32 degrees equals 72 over y. Then all we have to do is multiply both sides of the equation by y so that we can cancel out the y on the right side of the equation. After cancelling out, the result would be y tan 32 degrees equals 72. Then we have to divide both sides of the equation by tan 32 degrees so that the tan 32 degrees on the left side of the equation will be cancelled out. So the result is y equals tan 70 y equals 72 over tan 32 degrees. The value of y is 115.22. How far is the boat from the base of the cliff? The boat is 115.22 meters from the base of the cliff. Now let's proceed to our third and last example. An airplane is flying at a height of 2 miles above the ground. The distance along the ground from the airplane to the airport is 5 miles. What is the angle of depression from the airplane to the airport? We have the figure here. Then we have the equation tan x equals 2/5. Since we are asked to find the angle, we will use the arctan. So that would be x equals arctan 2/5. And the value of x, by using calculator, we will have 21.80 degrees. The angle of depression from the airplane to the airport is 21.80 degrees. Did you understand the lesson? Now, I have a question for you. How can we apply the angles of elevation and depression in reality? Who can give me an idea? Okay, this is my idea. Angles of elevation and depression are applied in many ways. The height of tall objects, such as trees, towers, and mountains, can be determined by using angle of elevation. On the other hand, the distance between two spots and the width of a field can be determined by using angle of depression. To know better the real-life application of the lesson, I will give you an authentic example. You are encouraged to solve first the problem. A man who is 1.8 meters tall is standing 290 meters away from the Eiffel Tower. He finds out that the angle of elevation to the top of the tower is 48 degrees. How high is the Eiffel Tower? Round the answer to its nearest whole number. So this is the man which is 1.8 meter tall. And this is the Eiffel Tower. And the distance between the Eiffel Tower and the man is 290 meters. And we can draw a triangle, 290 meters. Then the angle of elevation to the top of the tower is 48 degrees. On the other side, we have the 1.8 because that is the height of the man. Then we don't know the height of the Eiffel Tower. So we have the value of x here and the value of h. H is the overall height of the Eiffel Tower. So we are asked to find the height of the Eiffel Tower. We have the equation tan 48 degrees equals x over 290. Then we have to multiply both sides of the equation by 290. By multiplying, we are cancelling out the 290 on the right side of the equation. The result is 290 tan 48 degrees equals x. Or in other words, x equals 290 tan 48 degrees. And the value of x is 322.1. And this is not yet the final answer. We need to find h. H is 1.8 plus x. H is 1.8 plus 322.1, since that is the value of x, which is equal to 323.9. So, how high is the Eiffel Tower? The Eiffel Tower is 324 meters high. Did you get the correct answer? Excellent! Before we end the lesson, I'll leave you a quote from Stan Gudder, which says, "The essence of mathematics is not to make simple things complicated, but to make complicated things simple." And that's all. Thank you for watching.